You know the buck rabbit that's on the wall, an I pet goat. I've never called a rabbit a buck rabbit, but apparently there is such thing as a buck rabbit. A buck rabbit.
According to Wiktionary, main page, buck rabbit, a male rabbit.
It's a male rabbit. Okay. And it's telling me to check my audios. Audio's good. So this channel here, I use personal ciphers. I don't share this channel on my social media because it's too weird for people that know me to see me using personal ciphers of events in my life, events in all our lives. But y'all remember how I've told you 1,000 times about my friend Earl, who we'll just say, was shot by his mother, even though it's murder codes all throughout, 38s, 83s, 79s, associated with the day, the dates, the numbers, the day, the address, the zip code, everything. So was the Lord trying to tell us it was a murder? Well, that's for a jury of its peers to decide, right? On a spiritual level. But he died on day 128. And on my Groundhog Day divorce, the birthday, or excuse me, the amount of days old my ex-wife was on that day also had the 128 in it and the 88. Because I've showed you the marriage progression. I was her 88 because the first two digits of her and her husband's combined number was 87. So you see the 128 fused with 88, and a divorce is like a death. It's like another murder. And I've been staring at this prime number list because I know everything's about prime numbers in their world when it boils down to it. And I've known this and looked at it and never really thought about it much. But the 128th prime number is 719. And don't you just know that 719 is 2 days before a full moon, which has always been our cipher. But more to the point, it's also on a Friday. As Jesus died on a Friday, the anti-Jesus would die on a Friday. More to the point, he would die with the moon in Capricorn, which is the goat, which is exactly what I Pet Goat begins with, the goat in the box. And we've shown you many times that that is the moon. So an I Pet Goat, it begins with the moon. That's the light in the sky. And what does it say the moon is in? The goat. It's in Capricorn. There it is. The goat. And what's above it? The light in the sky, which is always the moon. So we've used that cipher before. But of course we look at a million other ciphers and we look at a lot of different dates. But looks like this thing's trying to start up. Goodness gracious. Just get rid of it. So that's how it begins. It's 2 days before a full moon. You've got, he would be rising with the moon in Aquarius, which is the water bearer. And we've showed many, 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 many times the splish splash how the water is splashing when he comes out of that birth canal. How the water is breaking. How the water is splashing. There he is right there. And out comes the birth canal. And there's the water splashing, the water bearer. So he's birthed water bearer Aquarius. Why is Aquarius called the water bearer?
According to Quora, it is called the water bearer because in ancient times, the rising of Aquarius coincided in the Middle East with a period of floods and rain, not because Aquarius is a water sign.
Yeah, as a former astrologer, before the Lord called me, I was always wondering, like, why is it the water bearer when it's not a water sign? I think we know why. This is about the birthing of the Antichrist. The water breaks. When the levee breaks. Led Zeppelin, when the levee breaks. Do you think they have a date for that? So it's 311 in length. June 18th. 1929. Are you kidding me? June 18th, 1929. Wow. That's not the Led Zeppelin song, is it? If we run that to July 19th, or excuse me, July 21st would be the Aquarius 34732. $95.13. Is a bad hunch. The Republican National Convention concludes on July 18th, which would be when Trump would make his big speech, which is the Dark Knight date. But you see, that was the Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises time frame. This is the next step, so move it up a day. He'd go down on the 19th instead of the 18th when the Dark Knight came out. And the Dark Knight Rises was July 20th, well, it would just be July 21st. Both years of the dragon. So it would be a progression. And just like that, on the prime numbers, the 129th prime number is the length of IPEC GOAT, 727. Next to the 719. It's the 128th prime number. I think the day after he makes that speech, because RFK, it was right after he made that speech, and MLK, it was right after he made that big speech. It's going to be right after his big speech. It's going down 719. $128 prime, 719. All right, love you.